Ah. Yeah, hi, I'm Matt Hudson, and this is my good friend Austin Jones. And we're going to have a look at Timothy here. And Timothy and I are going through the family rules process. It's a process that I came up with over the years of watching clients, noticing that they seem to not be able to hear what I just said, or the use, or they lose the use of their voice. And it was happening in my one-to-one practice. And I thought, this is strange. So put it out there into the world, and I seem to be the only chap that's noticing this. So I've caught it all in the book. I've broken it down and given a number of examples of how this works. And here in this next hour or so, we'll be as quick as we can, but it might take a while because we're going to go in and break it down step by step, stage by stage. And so in this first 30 seconds, you'll notice my arms up in the air there. I'm finishing a talk. I'm busy chatting to the group. And I'm chatting to the group about how, if an emotional memory image, and you can look at my work on split-second unlearning if you find out more. But basically, these emotional memory images will remain in our mental vision, if you would. And if they're present in certain situations, certain contexts, they will activate the cranial nerves and close off our ability to speak. Hence the saying, the cat has got your tongue. So that's where we're joining this. And what I'm doing is, if you watch Timothy's eyes, Timothy has locked on me. I'm not looking at Timothy. I'm deliberately not looking at Timothy, which allows his mind to feel, this is okay. Matt's not doing anything. I was busy loading his mind up for what he was about to undertake. Now, it's kind of cool because obviously Timothy doesn't know what's about to happen. The audience doesn't know what's about to happen. And I've got a gist of what I know what's going to happen, but I'm just not sure if it will go the way I'm hoping. Why? Because it's live. Yeah. So let's discover.
Okie dokie.
To trigger the cranial nerves to switch off the tongue. So that's your voice screwed. Make sense? But you get all of the checks, and physically it's okay. Now, your mind's screwed. See what I mean? Because the thing's going, you're perfectly physically well and everything's good. The cat has your tongue. So.
There, he did a little double blink. Is that relevant on this one? Or am I overanalyzing?
Well, it's even better. Look at that posture. Look at that posture. And look what he's fixated on now.
On your piece of paper.
On the piece of paper.
Yeah.
So his mind now says that is the problem.
Okay.
But you look, I mean, Timothy's he's not a small chap, he's a tall chap.
No, he makes himself small, doesn't he?
You're looking at a very young child there. So the physiology changes.
Yeah.
And there's a big sadness and it was all in that one little expression. And I'm still not looking at him.
So we'll move the cat.
Now, when I put it into a release mode, so it's out of and I'm like, playing with the cat, as it were. So that's what I said. So the cat no longer has your tongue. The cat's your friend.
Yeah.
He looks down.
Yeah.
release.
And then he's locked onto you now.
Now he's locked onto me again. Yeah. Because we haven't actually done the session yet.
And the beauty of it is, it doesn't take practice. You just got to shift it, and your system just goes, ah. Otherwise, it stays there, and you keep try. It's just still here.
So he's now checking with the audience for approval, is he, or?
He's flicked up there. Now he's listening. Yeah. And he looks out, but yes, there's an audience there, but he's not looking at the audience. He's inside his own stuff.
Okay.
It's just still here. So you're consciously.
That little check he just did then.
Okay. And your arm sort of going this. Is this about strength?
It's power. We're bringing strength to it. Yeah, the whole. You'll notice I'm very.
Yeah.
Because we're channeling as much, and I mean it's an exhaustive little process. This one,
yeah,
because you're pushing all of your energy up front and saying you are safe. This is okay.
Okay.
Trying to switch on your neurological system. But the cat has it. And the cat remains.
Notice his palms.
Remove the cat.
Sweaty palms.
Yeah. But there's movement, presumably, then, because they were locked before.
Yeah. There's more. There's more. His system, all I'm doing in all of this process is getting his system into that context.
Okay.
And it's, by the way, for the audience, Timothy has shared nothing.
Yeah.
So
didn't you say you'd passed him during?
I literally walked past him. I was coming, and he said, "Matt, could you work with me?" I said, I says, "That looks interesting," and because he gave me, there was just a little eye access he had. I said, "Please tell me nothing more, and if you wouldn't mind working on stage with this, yeah." And he said, "Oh no, that's brilliant. Just keep that there then." So that was it.
Cat remains. When we move the cat, your system just goes. Everything's back, but it never left.
Now, did you see him thinking?
Just that.
Yeah, he kind of almost disassociated for a moment and then checked, presumably.
Just for a second, he sort of, because he's listening and he's checking that against his truth.
Yeah.
You know, how does that feel for me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just that bright. Switched it all off. You just put your dad there in his eminent state, and your system goes, pretty cool. Now, on this side.
Now, quick pause there, because that was lovely, right? So, you'll notice this, because I'll always make sure I do it a number of times.
Yeah.
So, I'm checking his convincer strategy. Yeah. So, I demonstrated the same piece a second time.
Yeah.
And this time he's more in an evaluative state. He's more conscious now.
Yes, considering.
You see what I'm saying? And then he sort of flicks his out and has a little look at. And now we've got, there's space now.
Yeah, because at the beginning his hands were locked in like this. And now they're fidgeting, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now, on this side.
And now, smile, that's it.
So, you touch his leg.
A classic little anchor there. I can't help myself.
Yeah. So, what in essence is the purpose of is it another safety feature? What is that you're fine in this space? Is that what you're doing? Or
him safe. Yeah. Because I know his amygdala is going to kick off. He's gonna be terrified out of his wits in the next coming minutes.
Okay.
So all he needs to know is, here I am with you. This is now. This is present, and present is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and that becomes more evident as we go along. But we have to maintain that connection of presentness.
Yeah.
I want to show you what he's about to do. It's more fun, okay? Then he goes. Danny's laughing his head off you, because this is the fun bit of it. So, let's go. I'll just make it very simple. We're looking at generalizing. Remember I said.
Now, just a quick pause. All I'm doing here is I'm going to write the statement up there, but I'm going to wiggle. I just want to make this light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as I start writing this statement down, it's not going to be light for Timothy.
Yeah. And presumably you've also put distance between yourself. So therefore they've got close, and you're bringing in flexibility of presumably.
Yes. Yeah. Just like you'd walk a child or your dog when it's a puppy, you start that bit of distance to say, look, we're still safe over this range.
And this is my brain thinking, I guess, is that you're accessing the different aspects. So you've done the kinesthetic, and this is presumably the auditory digital bit because you're writing it down. So you're accessing from different angles, I'm guessing.
Because I want to loosen it everywhere, but first I want to demonstrate a deletion filter.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've told people about this deletion filter for years. NLP talks about deletion, yeah, not this deletion.
I know, we've never seen this. This is why this is so exciting.
This is the bit that gets people turning up for my trainings. I'm the only guy that actually discovered this particular deletion filter, and it is exciting because
it is true. Because I know you've talked about this particular one, and it's like, well, yeah, in theory, you've said it. This is amazing to see it.
Live, honestly, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Come on, what's going to happen next?
In the map, we generalize, we delete, we distort. Yeah. So family rules are generalizations. Does that make sense? And if I draw it on here, there's the past, there's the future, and a generalization is like always or never. That makes sense? Which, when you think about those words, means they always have been, always will be. You with me? Always. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because if somebody has dis-ease and uneasiness, and that's why the physiological conditions are more fun, because they're not a disease, they're a dis-ease. Make the pause. Yeah? Dis-ease. Because Hans Selye said Hans Selye is the guy, he invented stress, the word stress. And Selye said that there is only one dis-ease. Only one. And that is our inability to adapt to the next situation. So when your dad died, you failed to adapt. So your system just froze. Yeah? Make sense? Life going along in life, an issue happens, you fail to adapt, and you end up stuck. Yeah? In a freeze response. So, what Timothy is about to demonstrate, is he's got a
as we're explaining there, we're building up, but again, pace and lead. So I'm explaining so that cognitively, consciously, Timothy can say, I understand.
Yeah.
But you can have all of the understanding and still be stuck with the problem.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you mean.
is he's got a tummy problem or something. So problem in his tummy. Right, so here's his tummy. There's Timothy, and there's his tummy. Right? So he's got a problem in his tummy. A little sketch. Okay, right. So
now that's, I'm assuming that's a bit sneaky because you put a little, you've added comedy to the association with his problem, presumably.
It's. I wouldn't think it was sneaky at all. I would like to hope that it is absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Work, because if we don't get that humor,
Yeah.
if from a neurological perspective, in order for this dis-ease to remain,
yeah,
must be locked.
Yeah.
In a neurochemical firing.
Yeah.
Now, what we know with memory consolidation is that when our thoughts activate an old memory or an association, all of the neurochemistry that was original refires.
Yeah.
So, and there's a window of opportunity then.
Yeah.
If somebody's been in a traumatic situation, you're going to get whacked with cortisol.
Yeah.
And quite often when we're kids, before something becomes traumatic, we're full of dopamine. Why? Because we're curious. Yeah. Just before we stick our finger into the electricity and go, before that happens, we're curious. We wonder what good.
Yeah.
The feedback is wrapped in cortisol.
Yeah.
Our system goes bam, and we learn.
Yeah.
But the challenge then is in the unlearning.
Yeah.
To unlearn with the same speed that we learned.
Yeah.
So we need to build up dopamine. We need to get them in a fun state, anything but cortisol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're creating the state that they were in prior to the learning.
Okay.
And so that's why a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
So what he's going to do visually, he's going to demonstrate a generalization. How? Question number one. How is he going to demonstrate a generalization? Now, I could have you go into your groups to discuss, but in 3 weeks' time, when I ask you to come back, you still won't have the freaking answer. Right? So I'll just tell you. How about that? Yeah? And when I tell you, you go, oh, I knew that. Now, that way you can feel really cool about it. But the fact of the matter is, you'd have never got there. Okay? You ready? His eyes. His eyes okay, right. Timothy, he already went there, by the way. Did you catch it?
Yeah.
I haven't even knocked. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
Now, if I don't, palm sweaty. Yeah, if I ask it, see, fear, it's the response, it's firing, right? So he's in the freeze with that. And it's a generalization, which I've just demonstrated. Oh, sorry.
If you notice now, he's conscious, present, and with me.
Yeah.
Whilst his system, subconscious, is with the process.
Okay.
So even though you get that big smile on his face, etc., it's really funny because his body temperature is now going through the roof. His system is in absolute panic.
Okay.
But look at that smile. He keeps the smile and he's still with me, but underneath the surface, his system wants to run.
Should have just demonstrated, right? Lovely blue as well. You've got beautiful blue eyes, and it's all there, blue eyes. So I'll just show them what you're going to do. Yeah. It's like, shucks, how did he know, right? So A generalization, in order for it to be a generalization, yeah, your eyes must lift up to the right. If they go to the right,
You see, that's it. As soon as I look away, he demonstrates.
Okay.
Now, he didn't consciously think to himself, I shall wait for Matt to turn away and demonstrate this.
Yeah.
This is his reptilian system. It's accessing and it's saying, I cannot share this with you.
Yeah. So is it a double bind in the sense that if you were doing this one-to-one, then the system does it feel safer or less so? Because on the one hand, you've got an audience, so he knows the audience is watching him as well. Or is it kind of irrelevant?
The audience, in all my years of doing this, the audience is absolutely irrelevant because, yeah, once you're on stage, what audience?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just, and you'll have heard me say this many a times. The safest place to be is in the chair next to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly reassuring, and I'm just using the audience to pace Timothy.
Okay.
The audience is superfluous. It's really this is just me in a one-to-one session.
Okay.
Because if it was in a one-to-one with the client, I'll still look off and I'll say it to a client. Now, if I was demonstrating this in front of an audience in a chat like that, so an invisible audience that I chat to.
Okay.
So I'm always creating that third position.
Yeah.
Which is a safety mechanism.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I direct, we're in first, but then I can slip here to the audience, and that lets him sort of catch up a little, his system to reassess, and then back again.
Okay.
In his future. Yeah. And that's the pattern that we notice.
The longing in his face.
Oh, I missed that. No, I thought he was just checking. Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice, kind of thing.
Have a look at that catch future again. Watch that longing.
Lift up to the right. If they go to the right, they're in his future. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It got the longing that time.
Yeah.
It's me, isn't it? I call it a zillion things, but you catch that, and I thought that's the one, because in order to have the longing, you've got to have an end picture. So he's got where he wants to be.
Yeah.
We've never mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I've had his subconscious bring up the end state that he longs for.
Okay.
And we never mention it.
Yeah. This what makes this work so safe is you don't have to divulge anything or very little.
And that's the pattern that we notice for women and people.
Yeah, there was a
pattern that we notice for women or females with period pains.
So there's a puzzle on that one, because obviously it doesn't apply to him.
It doesn't apply to him, and yet look at the wiggle. There's a possibility there.
How can you have your period pain when it hasn't happened yet?
That was a consideration again, presumably.
Yeah, that's it, because it's a family rule. I mean, it's a beast of a rule, and it's hidden.
Yeah.
What I can do is coax gently. And by the way, I haven't done anything yet. Oh, yes, I have. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I have. But to the viewing audience, they're watching, if you're not aware of what I'm up to, you're like, well, is he going to start yet?
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we're building up anticipation.
What you're thinking, didn't it? You're like, what? Makes sense, really.
Is that the problem?
It's got period things. Yeah, very similar. Yeah, because he's getting a pain in a period of time. Yeah.
Like it?
Yeah.
Little
Similar
reframe.
enough, but it disassociated because, well, I'm not a woman, so therefore I don't get period pain, and then you've introduced the possibility, so more flexibility, I guess.
Yeah, and because we're reframing it,
Yeah.
it makes it humorous.
Yes. And presumably safe again.
Safe again. So piece by piece, we're just eroding those hooks so we can get it malleable.
Yeah.
Now we're going to look at the auditory piece.
Specific, presumably.
Like that now. The only time I'm ever using it now is when I really wanted it, and I just got now. Now look at that distance.
Yeah.
That off. That's.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's like so. Gulp.
Because I've suggested it. We're good to go. Now he's like warm. But I've put in. Now you can see why, because he's like warm.
Oh shit.
Don't mind talking about it, but you mean we're going to go there? We don't want to go there.
So again, you're presumably going, this has nothing to do with me, and then back in, and then back in.
Yeah.
So when this tummy thing began, so how old were you when it began?
Long as second.
Sorry?
As long as I can remember.
Right, now did you see what he did? So he went ping pong, right? Beginning to end. So that's he's still in a generalization. It's an always. That's what he said. Beautiful. So I wasn't listening. I'm just wondering, you went ping pong. Oh, which I actually drew on that. Always, right? So, when do you know it's time for it to be a real problem for you? Because there's times when you're not aware of it.
So that is in presumably kinesthetic, is he? I mean, it's an odd question for him, isn't it?
Because I'm asking his system. His system knows, but he's like, what? What do you mean? I have some sort of something to do with this? It's like preposterous. Because I'm suggesting he has an awareness of this on some level, and that part of him drives.
Because the question is a specific question, whereas if it's in a generalization, it's like, well, if it's always.
Because there's times when you're not aware of it, and there's times when you really are aware. Yeah, because you didn't hear me.
It's amazing. He understood you all the way up to that point.
Every word up until that point, and now his system just went delete.
Yeah, so no, it's now going to be a language problem. I don't understand what you're saying to me.
So suddenly, oh yeah, my English isn't that good. I don't think it's English.
And yet he's smiling because he knows there's
knows
conflict with what he knows versus what he's saying he doesn't know.
He heard, and he knows he can't hear me.
And that's me. I'm whispering too quietly. I'll say it louder this time, yeah? Because I usually whisper so quietly that you won't hear me, with a microphone and speakers and everything. And the guys at Barry's even, look, he's on the back row laughing. Even he heard me. Well, you didn't hear me. That's all right. It happens, yeah? So, you know, the ears are really listening now, yeah? So, there are times, when you're not aware of it, and times when you really are aware of it. Does that make sense? Like fluctuates, So, when you're not aware of it, how do you know?
It's like you just throw in the not aware and his brain just goes. He knows that he understands everything up to that when you're not aware of it, and his brain is just like, what?
How do you know? It's interesting, isn't it? Now, he's a tall guy. Are you guys having difficulty seeing his eyes from that position? Have you noticed what he's doing? Wrong. You're down here. Hello, what are you doing down there? Maybe there's something up there that you just don't want to look at. Interesting. Oh, you're going down again. I'm sure your wife is very happy with that, but for the rest of us, we want to do this exercise. Yeah?
Yeah.
So would you like the question once more?
Yeah, sure.
So up here, you ready? Right. Our heads are very heavy on heavy things here. Try and keep it up there. Okay. So when it's not being a problem for you,
The fact that he's having to repeat the words word by word, and you've even changed the wording to not a problem rather than not aware, and he's still
desperately, right, I'll hang on to that. Right, give me one more word.
Because presumably his system is so used to it being always a problem, even the idea of not a problem is presumably not in there somewhere.
It's so foreign. We're bringing in brand new neurology. Look at his system. Like,
I suppose that's the power of a generalization. I suppose I've never considered that before, is that the always, in terms of if you really believe that it is always hurting, the concept of it not hurting is not even in your vocabulary or in your system's vocabulary somewhere, which is that's something that is, to me, fascinating, is even the consideration that there's a time or a space where it's not even in there.
There cannot be rest. You see, you can. That's the paper that Mark Johnson and I have published on pain, past adversity influencing now.
Yeah.
What I talked to Mark about was the generalizations. If a chronic pain patient, well, in order to be a chronic patient, you basically have to have a generalization. And you're like, wow.
Yeah, when it's not being a problem, you run it through about 20 times, so we're getting it up here, right? So when it's, I'll write it down for you, when it's not being a problem for you, how do you know that it will? Hold the sentence in your head, hey?
It's hard to fathom because you'd think this is a setup, wouldn't you? If we were all there, you'd think, is he for real? Is he yeah, fascinating. And even he realizes that it's mad that he can't understand, even though he understands the words you're saying.
So suddenly he's become conscious of the fact that, goodness me, there's more than me in here.
And he's freaking himself out now. He's like, what is going on? Amazing.
The first one I was like happy you got the first one.
And then when the next piece comes, it just drops out, isn't it? It's like, what did you say again? This is so cool. I used to sit there with hands and think, you can't hear me. And you're like, do that again. so for the fourth time now, okay? Now you're gonna get the video that you're gonna watch this on the camera and you can come on. What? You'll have the volume up on max, right? Your missus is saying, what 4 times? Did you go to 5? I don't know. Let's find out. You ready? So. Yeah, well, you don't have to. I mean, it might help. Because down there doesn't seem to have done anything for you. What do you think? Right, ready? Yeah.
No, so in that one, you're the might help. You're introducing possibilities again.
Just attempting to. And, you know, we've loosened the whole frame. We've zoomed out again. You ready? And ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Here
And
goes.
there's humour again. Everyone's laughing. So even he sees the ridiculousness of something that presumably has been painful and only associated with bad chemistry for ages.
Yeah.
Ready? Yeah. So, when it's not being a problem for you,
No, see,
I have a question on this one. The way you're intonating the wordage also is when it's not.
Yeah.
It's a generalization by itself, presumably.
Yeah. Because what I'm literally just a little piece. Did it, because auditory, remember, did it. So I'm just giving him a tiny piece.
Yeah.
And so he can fit right when it's not. And then his system's already subconsciously saying, well, delete. There cannot be no not. so when we couldn't add the other bit, this piece wedges out and he's like, what was the sentence again?
Even that would, isn't that? Now this is a beautiful piece. It's lovely because you're like, wow, because he's a sensible, smart guy. But because we're really on a rule, his system wouldn't even allow.
So you said rule with this. What's this bit?
This loosen, just want to loosen it. Loosen it. Yeah.
So you're saying rule, and you're presumably mismatching with your hand because rule is usually set, whereas rule is, yeah.
Because I'm just suggesting to his system, we can do that. Remember, there's still a bit to go. This is a tough to get out. So I'm just doing the best I can to say, this can come loose.
Yeah.
His system won't even allow him to hold the sentence. This isn't a hypnotic trick. This is a trick that your mind is playing on you. Does that make sense? I'm not doing this. This is a real family move. Wow. Ready? Yeah. Right. Listen. Number 5. Actually, so I love this. Number 5. Ready? Right. Now, by the way, if any of you chatted to, this is a smart guy, right?
So he's this. You did that. Oh, maybe I'm being over analytical. You did this, but then he's kind of mimicking the scratching of the face and bits because presumably there's.
I'm just rapport is now. I mean, you need to weld as one unit here.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy, right? And here we go. Number 5, right? Head up, here we go. Pitch it high, right? So when it's not being a problem for you, when it's not being a problem, now you said, when it's not being a problem for me, when it's not being a problem, can you see that for me?
It's not being a problem for me.
When it's not being a problem for me.
It's not being a problem for me.
Brilliant, you got that piece,
Yeah,
right?
That's the big piece.
How do you know that it will? It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I did this to him about too long ago now. What I'll do, I'll write it down and I'll make it easy.
So basically, I write it down, And then once I've written it down, I asked Timothy to read it. Yeah, which seems a simple enough task. Yeah, his English is good. They're not very big words. You know, you might assume, how hard can it be? Yeah, so let's find out.
Now look at the face. No, wait.
When it's not being a problem for me, how?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now look, watch him. It's not always it's just like it's not being a problem for me.
Just that one word is just
Dude.
fascinating.
Not being a problem.
You think, how can he's hearing you and seeing it, and yet his system is just locked down?
Swallow, go. Bring it out, business. This is a real family rule. Oh, I know it's all right. I know so good as it's all right. You're doing it beautifully, okay? This isn't the adult guy I know. That's all right. Forget this. This is the little baby. It happens so young. Nothing in neurology is giving you answer. So you're doing it beautifully. We're still here.
So you're checking in with him because he's presumably freaking out now.
Yeah, as planned.
Yeah.
I just told anybody. Right, so I'm keeping him on there, and I'm saying, I'm here for you. We're together. We're here together. We're going to sort this. Stay with me. And he's okay. And he's like, his system's freaking out.
And you say it's a family rule, but is it a specific family rule? Can you give it a name, or it's just a family rule and it's irrelevant what it is?
Just a rule. That's it. It's just a rule.
So it's not a specific thing that you can say, oh, it's rule X or rule Y.
We'll do another video on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, it's just a family rule. It's easier to say he's caught in a family rule.
Yeah.
Which is creating all of this.
Yeah.
And then if you go that way, it's easier and softer. Otherwise, if I just made a rule book of it must be connected to X, Y, then I would miss it.
Yes. Well, I suppose that I think what's surprising to me in this, it shows you the power that the rules can have to a system where he now can't express himself. He can't see something or even read it, which you'd think, was that then, are there certain connections with things, I don't know, something like dyslexia and things, that is it possible that these kinds of things can stop you reading or turn you deaf or...
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's coming. Kind of cool. When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know? Difficult to read now, eh? Right, we gone? Gone. That's all right. You do the beauty. Keep with me, okay? I'm still here. I'm still loving you, okay?
The fact that you can't see it now.
You can't see it.
Ah.
In a moment, yeah, well, he won't be able to speak at full stop anyway, so he can't say well, the whole gone.
So it's beyond his vocabulary. Is it because it's going back to a time when he didn't have a vocabulary?
There we go. And that's, if we look at pre-verbal trauma.
Yeah.
Ideal for pre-verbal trauma. You don't have the language or the understanding of the world around you.
Yeah.
So when your system goes back to that original point, you don't have this to speak from or this to think from because you were so young. And it explains beautifully what I believe is not being explained in any of the trauma work. You know, it explains beautifully why amnesia kicks in. It's because it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Yeah, funny. I'm being affected just rewatching this. Fascinating.
That's all right. You do the beauty. Keep with me, okay? I'm still here. I'm still loving you, okay? Brilliant. I know. It will be Too big. Too big. Now, we're going to just do little bits, okay? Little's good. It's crazy like that. It's not me. Yeah, your girlfriend's going to love this, right? You're going to go home, you're going to...
So is the fact that you said little is good, presumably you're suggesting that when he was little, he was good, rather than presumably he's associated little as being bad.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you notice I'm being ridiculous. I'm being as ridiculous and as loose as possible, and just encouraging him to, you're okay. So he's smiling at the same time sobbing.
Yeah, you can even feel it.
A real family rule, right? Because Hank said, "Oh, don't do one of the verbal ones. I see you never do." And there he is. It was just a little thing. He's just a nothing. It's a nothing. But that nothing is huge. Yeah? So, ready? When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it will be? Just repeat the words. Don't just repeat out. Don't just say with the words themselves. Yeah? As the words come through, that the words are releasing. That's what that's the release. You're doing it. Okay, wait, oh, yeah, get me. This ring is a yeah. The reason you're feeling is because all the new energy is having to expand. And for as big and as wonderful as you are, there's a tiny little baby there that never.
So I'm visually demonstrating growth.
Yeah. And he's regularly, it's that right side, presumably, because that's you said at the beginning he was looking to the right for generalization.
Yeah.
He's having to adjust the right side to reassess, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's coming. Right? When it's not.
So here we're going to the sentence again.
Problem for me.
One word at a time.
How do I know it will be? You know when it's not being a problem for me. How do I know it will be? Better? Yeah. Bit calmer, okay? Now can you see it now? That's all right, step at a time. It's still coming on auditory, that's all right. Now you're here. I promise you, what are you going to get?
So that's the...
Bring him back into now. Get him back into now.
Okay.
What are you going to get? It's not there, that's all right. That's because all of this is bogging you. That's all right. Be, will, it, no, I.
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 I know it will be.
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 I just changed the angle because I just thought I want to see what he's actually doing, because you can see the struggle he's going through. It's amazing. So yeah, just fascinating.
One sentence. I mean, how hard can it be?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean,
because it's not reading.
Years and we've never seen it. I've never seen this before. This is
not reading because he can't see it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it out loud, because he's just feeding back what he's hearing.
Yeah.
I know it will be. I know it will be.
You see, he's trying to remember what he's just heard.
Yeah.
She's looking and just reading. He can't read it.
When It's not being a problem
for
me. How do I know
it
can be?
be.
So you introduced the can rather than will because the will was just too much, presumably.
But the will never happens.
Yeah.
It's
too far. It's too far of a stretch for them. Yeah.
Now we slip the can in, and suddenly you see, it's like, ooh, possibly.
Bit easier? Yeah. The can's a bit easier, yeah? You guys can go home if it's boring you. But this is what you're paying for. Because these things, as you can see, I keep saying, they delete, they distort and generalize. When he asked me about his tummy,
There's now that before he was all up in his head in terms of doing this. Now he's adjusting parts of his body.
He's wringing with sweat now.
Yeah.
about his tummy, I saw a generalization. I thought, come up, that's all we have. But I thought, that's a sneaky generalization.
Yeah.
And it's really been chewing you all your life. Now, would you be surprised that your mother may have been a little bit anxious when she was carrying you? So, if the woman has any, when, then, but your mum was a little bit anxious, then you can get it.
So a lot of his motions are all right-sided, and he's even using his right hand or arm to make adjustments. His left hand is almost locked down, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. The whole chunk is over there. Well, you see, he's moved away from it. It's not just a look at me. He's moved away from that past. He's turned to me, and the beauty of it is look at that little bit of resistance, because it's a generalization. There's a resistance in his system to let his mother off the hook.
Yeah, I find it interesting from the stuff I do is in the old world, they used to say that the right side is the father and the left side is the mother. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, again, maybe coincidence, but I find it quite cool on this one.
But it's not yours. But little you will just, you're born. But it can be just held, in here without you knowing. So it's not even your mother's fault, you know what I mean? So bless her, you know what I mean? Yeah, how many women in here have had a child? Maybe was a little anxious. Yeah, but you see, you can shake your head, but if you're stepping out in traffic and a car comes, whoop, a little shock. That little shock still goes into your system. You see what I mean? They're nothings, but all of those nothings leave fingerprints. Leave fingerprints. When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be? Easier? Bit easier? Better. Better. Now we'll get rid of will, because why bother? Nice car.
Why bother? So what was that about, the why bother?
Why bother? You like it? Why bother? Just a nothing. It's huge. He just tossed it with an afterthought.
It's fascinating. As an audience member, even though I was there as well, even now I'm willing him on. I'm wanting to egg him on. Come on, do it. We're with you.
When it's not being a problem for me.
Now we can see it.
Do I know it can be?
Well done. Now his visuals are building up. Makes sense? You're reading it now. You get it there. The light's coming in. That's all right. Now it's important I'm coming in for this space. So we're still.
Yes. Or it was this, and now it's loosening the screen. Yeah.
For this space, so we're still connected. Yeah. Every time I come in, I'm breaking this. You remember that, Hank? I kept coming in and just it breaks. Keep the now connection, because this is history, but it's locked in a freeze. Yeah.
When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be? When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be? When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be? When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be?
Head up.
When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be?
Yeah.
When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be? When it's not being a problem for me, how do I know it can be?
Now, that's in English. Yeah.
I mean, he's actually exhausted. You can see the effort he's putting in this. It's incredible, really.
Because he's pushing against his primitive system is saying, if you go against this, you will die. It's that simple.
And the words "can be" are still, the effort it's taking to put the "can be" is still, it's amazing.
And it's,
Can you read it in?
we're listening, it's very staccato.
It is, yeah. And it's improving each time. It's starting to move, but it's
Just listening, it's softened, just as it's as if he's learning to speak these words for the first time in his life. And you're like, wow, just see, it's only one sentence.
amazing.
Read it in Dutch for me. So the reason being, I want the mother tongue. Yeah.
Wanneer het geen
I couldn't write it.
wanneer het geen probleem is voor mij, hoe kan ik weten dat het een probleem is?
I don't know. Does that feel better? Will you correct? Or you tell me. Yeah. Yeah. What do you notice?
Dat het wel is. Ja. Hoe weet ik dat het kan worden?
Ja, doe het again?
Ja.
Wanneer het geen probleem is voor mij, hoe weet ik dat het een probleem kan zijn?
Ja.
Nee.
Ja.
Nee.
Nee.
Hoe weet ik dat het dat is?
Ik ben twee kansen.
Ja. Better in English.
Ja,
Oh, you think better? I think yeah, that's all right. So, how are you noticing that? Dragon, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, dragon, right. Now I'll come back in, okay?
And now his left hand's moving.
Yeah. You're watching now, we're almost in, it's brilliant because there's integration now.
Yeah.
When you see that integration, you're like, oh, something just happened.
Yes, because you don't notice it because, like I say, we were saying that his right hand was doing almost all the effort round here, there, and now suddenly he's doing that.
If you look at the bottom of Timothy's top there,
Sweat.
that is water, pure hot water coming out of that man. I love it.
And it's interesting you see it in that area because that was the area you were working with. So.
Didn't know, but here if you looked at my sketch, it was that part on the and I still didn't know. But here's the beauty of it also is we're finished.
Yeah.
But look, from this bit forward, it's just so we're done now. Just a little tidy up, but just watch what he's up to. It's really cool.
That's your generalization, deletion, distortion. Yeah? In real time. Oh, fuck off. Soaking, yeah? Whole system is like that. Yeah? Because he's lived his entire life trance that he didn't know, but he knows. Does that make sense? A part of you's always known this. That's why you went searching.
But why can I say will?
Again, left hand is moving now. That's it.
Because the will stays in the trance. Can shortens it. Can has an end. Yeah. I can do this. I will do this. Yeah, sure. I can. You begin with will to give you space, because it fits in the trance. And then pull it out, you put can in, and it shortens the trance. So you're like, wow, when you start seeing it. As you start seeing it, how does it feel? As soon as I mention feel in the sea.
Again, left hand is now moving and expressing itself. Amazing. Yeah.
In the sea. Yeah. The breathing gets difficult too. Wow. So, did your mom, dad, did they ever take you any hospitals, anything, any checks?
I was crybaby the first 3 months.
First 3 months? Yeah. Now, isn't that interesting? A grown man knowing he was a crybaby for 3 months. Who told you?
My mom.
And have you any brothers or sisters?
Two brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Are you what, middle or baby? Yeah. I knew there was one above you. Your tattoos are giveaway.
What was that about the tattoos?
Yeah. It being second born,
Yeah.
it's like he's got more of a screw you attitude about him. Yeah. Yeah. Let the firstborn follow the rules. I'll do whatever the hell I'm gonna do. He's chuckling because he's like, yeah.
It's the rebel piece. Yeah. So when you do that piece, you're a crybaby. Yeah. How does crybaby feel? Yeah, it was fun. There's a lot in there. Yeah. And I just want you to have a little wonder. Yeah. Oh, you need a tissue probably. I know somebody that has. So one of the other reasons for not demoing a family rule is they can take a while, yeah, but they're kind of cool. Because you're just playing with time. This isn't an adult that we're playing with, it's a child. Yeah? What was that?
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, you'll dry out. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I suppose.
yeah, just if you can. Yeah, that'd be handy. The only reason I ask you to close your eyes is you make better pictures. Yeah? So, have a wander inside. Because somewhere inside of you is a part of you that gives you that message. You know, that little crybaby message. Somewhere inside that tummy. Yeah? And I just want you to connect to that part. That crybaby part. Because all that time, All that little child wanted was to be heard. To be seen was easy. To be heard was something else. That's right.
And that's the tattoo's allowed to be seen.
Okay.
But he really needed to be heard.
Yeah, and he's
That.
To be seen was easy. To be heard was something else.
see, on this one, my feeling on that one is he wants to be held, not necessarily heard, but that was just, but either way, it's obviously having this.
And that young body was crying out to be heard. There's something in there for you. But you haven't always been a crybaby. There were times when you were very, very much not a crybaby.
There it is.
Okay.
If you watch the hands there, you've gone from separate punch, punch, punch
Yeah.
to a finger to a zzz.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. What do you notice in there? That's not angry. Yeah. Angry. And what comes up for you when you do angry?
So now, for the benefit of the being there, now start putting some growls in there.
Yeah.
Just to bring more humor in, but auditory based.
Okay.
Adopting that gets more chuckles going.
All of them practicing this evening. What are you noticing now? What are you noticing now? What are you noticing?
And that's a softer, that's a like,
Beautiful.
there's no angst in there. There's a,
Yeah, the hands are softer, aren't they?
Oh, it's okay if you want to.
Compelling viewing.
Yeah.
that look there's lovely. That look he gives me is like, job's a good one.
Breathe that one down. Happy now? How's that?
Isn't that lovely? He had a look there to say, it's all good.
What the hell is that?
The onwards.
What? I've not a clue.
That's called no.
He's doing this, which is something switched, presumably.
Say, zzz.
Yep. Take a seat. Thank you very much. Catch you here.
It's like, but I haven't got an explanation yet.
This is the day after. So I just put this on the end, just because obviously this to show the difference in him is staggering. Because he was standing upright as well in terms of the way he came in. He looked about a foot taller when he came in the morning, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. Last night, sorry for my French, but I took the best shit in like. But I was like, okay, maybe, you know.
Maybe one day magic.
I did believe. I keep on believing.
Yeah.
Shifted. It's amazing. In less than, what, 12 hours? Not even that, I think.
I did believe. I keep on believing because I have a feeling this works because it's something fun.
Yeah, might as well.
So this morning, I would usually not go to the bathroom knowing that whatever. I had the second best shit. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It is also kind of funny. I'm usually as soon as something happens, I have a lot of questions. As you could all tell, I had no questions afterwards, and they came all at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
An hour long. I was like trying to figure, and then I stepped out of bed. So crazy. Like no words for this. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is that all right?
Amazing.
There you go. So, live family rule. How exciting.
Yeah.